It was a humid evening in the city. The streetlights glowed dimly as 24-year-old Raj sat alone on the roof of his rented apartment. His phone buzzed constantly, notifications, messages, reminders of a life he was no longer sure he wanted. For months he'd been chasing everything outside himself. Likes, attention, approval, applause. He worked hard, but mostly to be seen working hard. The constant comparison was killing his confidence. He scrolled through other people's successes, feeling smaller every minute. One day, after another disappointing rejection email, he tossed his phone aside and whispered, "Maybe it's not about them. Maybe it's about me." That night he wrote one line in his notebook that changed his life. "Focus on you until you win." It wasn't a quote he found online. It was a moment of awakening. From that day, Raj stopped proving, stopped comparing, stopped explaining, and started building. He realized that when you stop chasing people's validation and start chasing your own potential, everything changes. And that, my friends, is the soul of today's book summary. Focus on you until you win. Welcome back to Audiobooks by Alexa, where we break down powerful books that can transform how you think, act, and grow. Today's episode dives deep into a modern self-development masterpiece that reminds you that the greatest project you will ever work on is yourself. The essence of the book. The phrase, "Focus on you until you win," sounds simple, but behind it lies a profound philosophy. It means, stop outsourcing your happiness to other people. Stop letting the noise of the world define your value. Stop living to impress and start living to improve. This book is not about arrogance or selfishness. It's about reclaiming control, about choosing inner discipline over outer distraction. It teaches that your biggest battle is never against others. It's between the person you are and the person you are meant to become. Chapter 1: Taking Ownership of Your Life. Everything starts here. Before you can win at anything, you must first accept that you are responsible for your outcomes. When things go wrong, it's tempting to blame circumstances, your job, your boss, your past, your parents, your luck. But the author reminds us, every excuse steals a bit of your personal power. The moment you say, "I'll fix this," instead of, "It's not my fault," you shift from victim to creator. And that shift changes everything. Think about it. Every successful person you admire shares one trait: ownership. They may not control what happens, but they always control how they respond. The book gives a simple exercise. Write down one area of your life you're unhappy with: career, fitness, finances, relationships. Then list everything you can do to improve it. No blaming, no waiting for others, only actions within your reach. This sounds small, but it's life-changing. The moment you start acting instead of complaining, your mindset rewires itself for growth. The author warns that most people fail not because they lack ability, but because they surrender responsibility. They wait for motivation. They wait for someone to believe in them. They wait for permission. But waiting is the slowest form of quitting. Chapter 2: Commit to Daily Progress. Once you take responsibility, you need to build consistency. And that's what Chapter 2 emphasizes. Progress through daily effort. Success rarely comes from one giant leap. It comes from hundreds of small, boring, invisible steps that compound over time. The book compares progress to sharpening a knife. You don't notice much after one stroke, but after hundreds, it becomes razor sharp. Every single day is a vote for the person you are becoming. It's easy to be motivated on good days. But winners are built on bad days, when energy is low, when nobody's watching, when you'd rather quit. That's where discipline grows. The author gives a simple principle. Do one thing each day that brings you closer to your goal, no matter how small. If you want to get fit, walk 10 minutes today. If you want to learn, read 5 pages today. If you want to save money, skip one unnecessary purchase. It's not about the size of the step, it's about the direction. Over weeks, those tiny wins create momentum. And momentum is the most powerful force in personal growth. Another key lesson in this chapter is the importance of protecting your environment. If your surroundings are toxic, your progress will suffocate. So the author challenges you to audit your environment. Who drains your energy? What distractions consume your time? What habits quietly sabotage your goals? Once you identify these, start creating boundaries. Remove what doesn't serve you. Replace chaos with structure. Remember, you can't grow in soil that poisons your roots. Chapter 3: Silence the noise and strengthen self-worth. In our hyper-connected world, silence is rare. Everyone is shouting opinions, showing highlight reels, measuring worth through followers and likes. This chapter is a reality check. It reminds you that the loudest voice shouldn't be the most important one. Your own inner voice must be stronger than external noise. The author writes, "The world will always talk. Let them. You keep walking." Comparison is one of the biggest thieves of joy. When you constantly look sideways, you lose sight of your own lane. That's why self-worth must be built from within, not borrowed from others. You don't need applause to validate progress. You need alignment with your purpose. The book gives an example of a musician who stopped releasing songs after reading harsh online comments. Years later, he realized he had silenced his passion because of people who didn't even know him. The lesson? Never hand your power to strangers. Self-worth grows in solitude. In those quiet moments when you reflect, learn, and rebuild. Working silently doesn't mean you are invisible. It means you are incubating your success. Underlying themes across these chapters. As the first half unfolds, a few universal truths repeat like echoes. You must choose mindset over mood. Motivation is emotional, discipline is logical. Motivation fades, discipline stays. Winners act based on commitment, not on feelings. Boundaries equal freedom. Saying no isn't rude, it's a declaration of focus. Every no to distraction is a yes to your vision. Execution beats planning. Over-planning can feel productive but often becomes an excuse. The author insists, imperfect action beats perfect delay. Identity shift is the key. Stop asking, "How can I?" and start asking, "Who must I become?" The more you align your identity with your goals, the less effort you need. Play the long game. Quick results satisfy the ego, but lasting results require patience. The book reminds, the seed doesn't grow faster because you stare at it, it grows because you water it daily. Real life parallel, the power of focus. To illustrate, the author tells the story of an aspiring boxer. At first, he trained hard but kept checking social media for validation. He'd post every gym session, wait for comments, and feel discouraged when few reacted. His coach noticed and told him, "You're training for attention, not for mastery." The boxer stopped posting. He focused on silent training, no updates, no distractions. Months later, he entered a tournament and won. When reporters asked what changed, he said, "I stopped showing off the grind and started doing the grind." That's what focusing on you truly means, private work for public results. Mini reflection. Are you focused on you? Right now, think of your own goals. Ask yourself, am I spending more time improving or impressing? Do I work to grow, Or do I work to prove? Do I seek peace? Or do I seek applause? Your answers will reveal where your focus truly lies. Remember, you can't become your best self while constantly explaining yourself. You can't grow while comparing. You can't evolve while entertaining negativity. When you learn to focus on you, on your habits, health, mindset, and purpose, winning becomes inevitable. Practical action steps. Daily self-audit. Each night, ask, did I get 1% better today? If yes, celebrate. If no, learn. Simplify your inputs. Reduce exposure to gossip, noise, or content that drains energy. Replace it with reading, reflection, and calm. Journal in I language. Instead of, they made me feel, write, I allowed myself to feel. It rewires accountability. Set a 90-day focus period. For the next 3 months, pick one goal. Pour everything into it. Avoid shiny distractions. Reward consistency, not perfection. Don't quit because of one bad day. Consistency isn't about never failing. It's about never staying down. As we reach the midpoint of focus on you until you win, we've learned how vital it is to take ownership, stay consistent, silence noise, and cultivate self-worth. But the book goes even deeper. In the next half, we'll uncover how to master discipline when motivation fades, why pain and failure are disguised blessings, how to build unstoppable momentum and protect your energy, and how to keep going until you win, no matter what stands in your way. Because remember, focusing on you isn't selfish, it's strategic. The better you become, the more value you can give to others. We explored how success begins when you stop looking outward for validation and start focusing inward for transformation. We learned about taking ownership, embracing consistency, silencing the noise, and protecting your focus. But the real test begins now, when life challenges your commitment. Because focusing on yourself isn't just about peace and clarity, it's about persistence through pressure. The second half of Focus on You Until You Win reminds us that life will test your patience, discipline, and self-belief. But if you stay the course, you will win. Chapter 4. Discipline is the real superpower. If motivation is the spark, discipline is the fire that keeps burning long after the excitement fades. The author begins this section with a simple truth. Motivation gets you started. Discipline keeps you going. Discipline means doing what you said you'd do, long after the mood in which you said it has disappeared. That's what separates dreamers from doers. Everyone gets motivated, few stay consistent. The book compares discipline to a muscle. You build it by showing up, especially on the days you don't want to. Think of your favorite athletes, artists, or entrepreneurs. Their secret isn't talent, it's training. They show up when they're tired. They work when nobody claps. And that repetition compounds into mastery. The author suggests a simple practice called the 3-hour rule. Every day, dedicate at least 3 hours to something that moves you closer to your dream, even if you divide it into small parts. It can be learning, creating, or practicing. The key is consistency. You might not see results immediately, but discipline compounds quietly, like interest in a bank account. One day, it explodes into visible success. Chapter 5. Pain is your greatest teacher. Many people quit not because they lack potential, but because they misinterpret pain. They think pain is punishment. But in truth, pain is a teacher in disguise. The author shares a striking metaphor. Pressure doesn't destroy diamonds. It creates them. The same is true for you. Discomfort shapes character. Challenges sharpen clarity. Struggles build strength. Every time life pushes you down, you have two choices: complain or learn. When something hurts, instead of asking, "Why me?" ask, "What is this teaching me?" Because pain always has a purpose. It's sculpting you into someone stronger than you were yesterday. The book uses the story of a young entrepreneur who lost everything twice before finally building a successful company. He later said, "The failures gave me the wisdom success never could." Pain refines you. It filters out arrogance, impatience, and fear. Without it, you'd never grow roots deep enough to sustain real success. So, the next time you face struggle, remember, you are not breaking down. You are breaking through. Chapter 6: Protect your energy. As your focus grows, people will notice. Some will be inspired, others will feel threatened. That's why this chapter is all about energy management. The author says, energy is more valuable than time, because even with time, you can't move without energy. Every conversation, every environment, every digital feed, it either feeds you or drains you. So, you must become selective. Here are 3 practical ways from the book. Guard your mornings. How you start your day determines your focus. Avoid negativity in the first hour. No social media, no gossip. Fill your mind with clarity, gratitude, and purpose. Choose your circle wisely. Surround yourself with people who challenge you to improve, not those who compete to bring you down. If someone always leaves you feeling smaller, that's your signal to step back. Set digital boundaries. You don't owe everyone access to your attention. The author suggests one powerful phrase: silence is my response. You don't need to react to every message, comment, or opinion. Sometimes, peace is found in not replying. Protecting your energy doesn't mean isolating yourself. It means conserving your strength for what truly matters. Chapter 7: Build momentum and keep moving. Momentum is the quiet force that turns small progress into unstoppable motion. Once you've built discipline and focus, the next challenge is to maintain forward motion, even during tough times. Momentum doesn't require massive leaps. It grows from repetition. The author compares it to pushing a car. At first, it's hard, but once it starts rolling, it takes less effort to keep it moving. The same happens with personal growth. The hardest part is starting. After that, it becomes rhythm. The book outlines a simple momentum formula. Clarity plus action plus consistency is equal to momentum. Clarity gives you direction. Action gets you moving. Consistency keeps the wheels turning. And the biggest enemy of momentum? Overthinking. The more you think, the less you act. That's why the author emphasizes a concept called learn by doing. Stop waiting to be ready. Start doing and let experience teach you what preparation never could. Momentum loves simplicity. Choose one goal, one focus, one path, and give it everything you've got. Chapter 8: Ignore comparison and celebrate growth. Comparison is the killer of joy, a silent thief that steals your confidence. The book explains how comparing yourself to others disconnects you from your own progress. When you see someone ahead of you, remember, you are comparing your behind the scenes with their highlight reel. Everyone's timing is different. The author writes, some flowers bloom in spring, some in summer, but all eventually bloom. Your timeline is unique. Your story doesn't have to match anyone else's. So, instead of comparison, practice celebration. Celebrate every small win, waking up early, staying consistent, learning a new skill, saying no to temptation. Growth is slow, but it's still growth. By appreciating your own journey, you transform envy into inspiration. Chapter 9: The Power of Belief. You can have the best plan, the best habits, and the best strategies, but if you don't believe in yourself, none of it matters. Belief is the foundation of focus. Because when you truly believe you can win, you stop looking for shortcuts and start building endurance. The author challenges readers to reprogram their inner dialogue. Instead of saying, "I can't," say, "I'm learning how." Instead of, "It's too late," say, "I'm just getting started." Your words shape your world. Every winner starts as a believer. They see success internally before the world sees it externally. The author reminds, doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. So, protect your belief like a precious seed. Nurture it daily with evidence of your progress. Each time you keep a promise to yourself, your belief grows stronger. Chapter 10: Keep going until you win. This final chapter ties everything together. The message is simple yet powerful: never quit, never rush, never lose faith. The road to success is rarely straight. It's filled with turns, failures, and lessons. But if you keep going, if you stay focused on you, victory becomes inevitable. The author compares the journey to climbing a mountain. From the bottom, the peak seems unreachable. But as you take one step at a time, the view keeps changing. Eventually, you realize you've come farther than you ever imagined. The book's closing line hits deeply. If you refuse to quit, you've already won. Winning isn't just about trophies or recognition. It's about transformation, becoming stronger, wiser, and more peaceful than before. When you focus on you, the win is guaranteed, because the person you become is the ultimate victory. Here's a quick actionable guide inspired by these final chapters. Start small, but start today. Even one consistent habit builds momentum. Don't wait for a perfect moment. Use pain as progress. When something feels hard, reframe it. This is growth happening. Track your energy, not just time. Notice when you feel most alive. Do more of that. Reduce what drains you. Stay in your lane. Comparison distracts. Focus multiplies. Compete only with yesterday's version of you. Repeat your affirmations daily. Words create belief. Belief creates action, and action creates results. Don't stop when it's hard. Stop when you're done. Final reflection. Think of life as a marathon, not a sprint. The goal isn't to finish first, it's to finish fulfilled. When you learn to focus on you, life becomes simpler. You stop chasing people who don't see your value. You stop explaining your dreams to those who don't understand them. You stop doubting yourself because of temporary setbacks. You start trusting your process. You start building quietly. And one day, you wake up and realize you've become the person you once hoped to be. That's the true meaning of focus on you until you win. So, as you step back into your world today, remember, the most powerful investment you'll ever make is in your own growth. Don't rush. Don't compare. Don't stop. Keep your head down, your heart steady, and your focus locked on your path. Because the moment you master yourself, the world has no choice but to notice. They won't understand your silence. But one day, they'll respect your results. Thank you for listening to this full summary of Focus on You Until You Win, brought to you by Audiobooks by Alexa. If this message inspired you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more deep, meaningful summaries that fuel your growth and mindset. Until next time, stay focused, stay grounded, and remember, you are your greatest project. Keep working on you until you win.